Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Taylor and today is a Crochet Chat. I haven't done one of these in a little while. It's probably been around 2 or 3 weeks, so I just wanted to sit down, catch up with you, see how you were doing, and just really get some dedicated project time in here. I feel like I haven't been crocheting as much and I just want to sit and crochet with you today. If that sounds good to you, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. We love to read and crochet and talk about books and yarn and all sorts of fun things on this channel, and I would love to have you as a part of our growing community. So the week of New Year's, I got hit with that really fun super flu. I was bedridden for like an entire week and I also had to work. Thankfully, my boss is really nice and she just kind of let me chill. Also, everyone that we worked with also was like off on vacation, whether they were people who worked at the company or just outside companies that we work with. Like it felt like everyone was shut down for 2 weeks. But I'm feeling better. I can like get up and move around. I've been feeling really sluggish this week. I don't know if that has anything to do with my cycle. I don't know what phase it is where you just feel so lethargic and like you can't do anything, but that's where I'm at this week. Also, the horrors that persist in Minnesota constantly looming over my head, which is not fun. I'm just scared for the people I love. It feels odd that violence is continuously inflicted upon regular civilians, and it feels like nothing is being done to combat that. And I'm really sick of people in my life saying like, oh, you know, we can agree to disagree. Like, we are so far past that at this point, and it's also frustrating because a lot of these people claim to be Christians, and like, Jesus was not neutral. Jesus was flipping tables and like was crucified for not following the law. And it is crazy to me how many people are like, well, you know, if they just complied, like, you don't have to comply. ICE is not a law enforcement entity. They are supposed to be going after illegal criminals. So then why do American citizens keep getting detained? Why are American citizens being shipped off to detention centers? It's disgusting, and it's really disgusting to me how many people will just overlook it. Say, well, it's not affecting me, therefore I don't care. And I don't understand how we get people to care again. Like, everyone is so worried about like communism, socialism, yet Zoran Mamdani, the mayor of New York City, signed into law free child care for all citizens of New York. It wasn't some traditional family values person that did it. It was the Democratic Socialist. It pisses me off that people want to say that they're for the kids and yet do nothing to help children. Like, everyone is so obsessed with babies and babies being born, yet in Project 2026, put out by the Heritage Foundation, they want to ban IVF. And I know plenty of people who have gone through IVF to conceive because it can be hard for some people. That's horrifying. These people want children. Why would we not want them to have that? And it's so frustrating because this should be class warfare, and yet we're too busy fighting each other because I have to convince people in my life that no matter what, people matter. That's weird. I hate that. I hate that I have to try and convince people in my life that people matter, that human beings matter, that because you didn't comply, you don't deserve to get shot in the face. So I've just been having a really tough time recently, and I have to go to work every day, and I have students to show up for, and I'm going to continue to show up for those students, and I have to work because I need health insurance and I need a paycheck. And it's not like I hate my job or anything like that. It's just, it's really frustrating when the world keeps, the world is on fire, but the world keeps spinning. And I feel like we're being made an example of because Minnesota has ranked like top 5 best states to live in for the past couple years now, I believe, because we have, you know, we have free school lunches, breakfast and lunch for kids so that they can eat, so that they can get a proper education. We have, you know, free tampons or maxi pads or whatever for students because those things are expensive and they shouldn't have the pink tax on them. You know, we have these wonderful things. The federal government is going to stop giving aid to Minnesota because they're mad at us. Like, I guess my question is, like, what's the end goal here? What happens? What happens next? And it's really hard when people are like, oh, this is exactly 1930s Germany, but black and brown people on the internet and people of color are saying, like, this is so much closer to slave catchers. And that makes sense because 1930s, 40s Germany modeled after the United States and Jim Crow laws and segregation and slavery. And I understand that a lot of people aren't going to like that or don't want to face that part of our nation's history. But how do we get better if we don't know? Or if we don't talk about it? I'm so sick of that. I don't want to talk about this. I'm too uncomfortable. I can't deal with it right now. I don't do politics. Politics is gonna do you, honey. Are groceries cheaper? Not really. Are eggs cheaper? Sure. Maybe a little bit because we don't have outbreaks of avian influenza right now, but it could come back at any point. It's not a different, like, racism is not a difference of opinion. I'm so sick of people acting like, 1, this isn't happening, or 2, that it doesn't matter, or 3, that they are somehow absolved of the part that they have played in it, right? Because Minnesota has never gone red for Trump, but there are plenty of Trump voters that I know, and they don't believe that their vote had anything to do with this. And it's like, sure, on the electoral college stage, maybe it didn't, but the problem is that you still think those things. Like, the racism wasn't enough, the sexual assault wasn't enough, the Epstein files weren't enough. Believing survivors wasn't enough for you. Your hatred won out, and that is despicable to me. It's disgusting, and it makes me sad, because where did that hate come from? Why do you hate people who don't look like you? I feel so, like, paralyzed by all of it. I'm trying to use the platforms I have for good. I want to start going to protests and doing what I can, because I don't want to be scared. I shouldn't be scared. What do I have to be afraid of? I just think that I'm still trying to figure out what my place is in this, and one thing that I want to do is get more involved in my local government in the town that I live in now, and I think that that might help me. Volunteering would help. It's just a matter of fitting it in with everything else in my life. But everybody's busy, so what's my excuse? You know, and I think that that's something, you know, I'm trying to have, like, a nuanced and self-effacing conversation, and it's difficult, and you watching might not agree with everything that I have to say, and that's okay, but, I mean, let it be known, human rights are not up for debate for me, and I think that, you know, we need to be speaking out in the ways that we can. Other than that, I've been having a really hard time with reading recently. I've been reading a lot of manga, lots of graphic novels. I DNF'd a romance book. It was Cash by Jessica Peterson because the vibes were so off. So that's one of those cowboy romances that has been really big recently. Checked this out from my library. I read the first chapter and I was like, oh, okay, because we have the female point of view. But then we get into the male main character's point of view, and he is so rude. He is so mean. He's just awful. I got almost 100 pages in and I was like, I can't do this. I can't reasonably believe that these two people are going to fall in love because they're too different. Because he won't even give her the benefit of the doubt that she might be also going through things. He's like, well, I'm going through things. Me. Okay, well, she just lost her father. You know what I mean? And I was just like, I gotta be done. You know what else? What other book I just recently DNF'd? Things We Hide from the Light. Things We Never Got Over. It's the second Knock 'Em Out book series by Lucy Score. I DNF'd it because on page 30, the male main character is fantasizing about ramming into the female character, like, explicitly. And I was like, you know what? You don't know this woman. We are on page 30. Where's the yearning? Why is it suddenly just like, bam, sex? Why is this only lustful? You guys don't know each other. Also, this is your brother's ex-girlfriend, which is fine with me, but also, like, you don't know her and you're fantasizing about her. And I'm disgusted. Had to DNF that one as well, which makes me think I just need a break from romance books. I'm just so frustrated with romance books. I don't know, am I in the wrong here? Because, like, there are plenty of romance books that I've enjoyed, so why does it feel like everything is just grinding my gears right now? Like, I want a fluffy little romance, but I don't want the male main character to be a POS. And it's like, oh, well, he's really grumpy. I can read a grumpy book. Like, I liked the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. That was fine. You know what I mean? Because the guy, he was grumpy, but he was like a softie on the inside, you know? And I could even understand, like, the I hate everyone but you. But, like, the amount of hate that the book starts out with in Cash, I was like, no thank you. No, thank you. I need more yearning. I need less sexual fantasies before page 100. It almost comes off as if men aren't sophisticated enough to think about anything but sex, to admire women as anything other than sexual objects. And these books are written by women, and it upsets me, because, like, I don't want to think about that. I thought the whole point was that these men treated women nicely because they liked them, because they loved them. So why is it that it's always about, why is it still always about sex? Like, I mean, not my life now, like, that's not the relationship that I'm in, but, like, that happens in reality plenty enough. I don't need to go to a little rom-com and have the same thing. You know what I mean? So I've been reading Moby Dick by Herman Melville. I started it, I believe, the first of the year, or, like, right before the new year started, because I purchased it the day after Christmas. Here, I've got it right here. I really wanted the Penguin edition of it, because none of the other ones really, like, kind of spoke to me, I guess. And I have been loving this book so much. I did not anticipate loving Moby Dick that much. I'm on page 124, and I feel like this book, not is, like, the butt of every joke, but, like, when people think, like, big, hard classics, they think of this. And I'm here to tell you that this book is actually super, super accessible. Very easy to read. Also, super short chapters. I was reading this last night, and chapter 25 is literally just this. And it's been nice to just feel like I could sit down, whip out 4 chapters, and, you know, call it a day. I also love Ishmael and Queequeg together. I have been, like, singing in my head recently. 2 dudes smoking in the one bed, 5 feet apart, because they're not gay. Because in it, Queequeg and Ishmael have to share a bed at an inn. And at first, Ishmael's like, oh my god, I'm not gay, I don't want to do that, da-da-da. And then he is like, oh, well, maybe this man isn't so bad, meaning Queequeg. And so he gets to know Queequeg a little bit more, and he's like, wow, you're a fine chap, you know, like, and then they become best friends. And he was like, you know, I'm not, what did he say? It was like, I've never much wanted for a wife other than, like, sitting in bed and talking, because Ishmael's unmarried. And so he says about how much he loves sitting in bed with Queequeg, and they pass the pipe back and forth. All I'm saying, lil gay, but I don't want to put that on him, because we also can have the positive masculinity of 2 dudes just having a good time, sharing time together. You know what I mean? It doesn't always have to be gay. I like when it is, but it doesn't have to be, you know? And I like them. I like Ishmael and Queequeg together. They make me happy. And then I just started Gender Queer today by Maya Kobabe, and that's really, really good so far. I'm very much enjoying it. I love the way that the author plays with their art, and it is a memoir of the author talking about their struggles with figuring out their sexuality. And in the intro, it's introed by someone else, not the author, and they talked about how their parents censored everything they read, so they learned to go to the library on their own and read books about, like, magic and queer teenagers and all this sort of stuff. He was like, that censorship did not make me any less queer. All it did was make me feel ashamed of who I was. And isn't that just the truth? That's why I hate book banning. There is just no reason to ban knowledge from students, especially when they are books that are age appropriate. Like, they are books about sexuality that are made for kids, because those are done in a way that is age appropriate for students. I don't understand how there truly are people who believe that kids are going to school and getting transgender surgeries. That is not happening. And there is no sort of like LGBTQ plus agenda in the schools, because most of the time it's not even taught. Normally it's just that a teacher exists or someone near them exists as something outside of the gender binary. And it's frustrating. And it icks me out. You know, what is the point of trying to keep people in these little boxes? Because it makes you comfortable. That is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a like, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.